Hey everybody, it's Lindsay from the PickyPagesProject.com, and we're here talking about The Siren by Kiera Cass. Now, as some of you might already know, Kiera Cass is known for her unusual names in her books. And she's got a pretty unusual name for the main character in this book. I've heard it a couple different ways. I've heard Callan, Kaylin, Colin. I think mostly I've been using Callan in my head as I'm reading, so that's what I'm going to be using today with our review. So basically this book is about a young girl named Callan, possibly, and the ocean saves her from drowning. So she repays this debt by serving the ocean as a siren. Now when we get into the meat of this book, we are about 80 years into her 100-year sentence. So she interacts with other people, she interacts with society, but she does it silently. So she basically is mute, or she pretends she's mute so that she doesn't hurt people. And really this has weighed on her heavily. All of the siren duties that she has to do, so she ends up trying to make the rest of her sentence, her last 20 years, a little bit better. And she takes some cues from her siren sisters, and she decides to interact with people silently, but she decides to do that. So, is that telling you too much? I don't think that's telling you too much. I think that's okay. Yeah. We also meet a Kinley, who is handsome, caring, and kind. I really enjoyed a Kinley. A Kinley is a boy that Callan meets a little bit into the story, and he just seems to be a lot more, he's different than the other people that she's met. He doesn't shy away from her being deaf. He's not kind of, he doesn't act any differently toward her, and that's refreshing for Callan. So she really, I think, just wants to hang out with him a little bit more. And boy, does that get her into some trouble. I really enjoyed this book. I'm glad that I read it this month. Actually, I read it last month, I guess. It's June now. I read it in May. And I read a lot of it out on a lake. I did a lot of fishing. So I read a lot of this on the lake, and I'm happy that I did that because it was really kind of neat to think about things like sirens and shipwrecks. I know that sounds weird, but it was a fun experience. So if you can, read it on the water. My book's a little beaten up. It's a little bent and beaten. I don't take my dust jackets off. Every time that I've taken my dust jacket off, I lose it. And I really just didn't want to lose this one. And I take my books with me everywhere. Like I said, I was fishing, I went hiking. Anywhere I go, my book comes with me. You never know when you're going to have an opportunity to read. So my books look like this a lot. I'm sorry. It's well loved. But that's what happens. I really enjoyed this book. It's a great summer read. It's absolutely wonderful. I know that there are a lot of people out there really into books about mermaids. Any kind of historical books, if you're kind of into that. There's not too many people that I've come across who are really into the historical fiction, but if you are, there's a little bit of that in here. There's little bits and pieces, so that's really nice. It was a nice change. It was really kind of a magical read. I was worried about the fact that the ocean was a character. So the ocean ends up being a character, and I just wasn't feeling it to begin with. I thought it was kind of weird, and I really ended up loving it by the end though. I mean, if I were to pick one character who grew the most throughout the entire book, I would say the Ocean. And I thought that it was really well done, really well written. Something else that I really love about this book is it's a one-off. This is, so far, I mean, who knows, right? But it's just, there's no book after this book. This book ends and you are satisfied with the ending. I would say that I was a lot more than satisfied at the end. I thought that it was really beautifully written, wonderful ideas, just really well-rounded. You didn't really feel like you were aching for more of the story. It was tied up very nice and neatly at the end. I'm not saying that it's not sad or upsetting or that some of you might not agree with the ending, but I really, really enjoyed it, and that's how I feel about it. I wanted to give this book a 8.59, but that's before I got to the ending. Really was just my uncertainty with the idea of the Ocean as a character. I didn't know what to do with that until I reached the very end. And I reread books, but it's gotta be a really good book for me to reread it. And this is a book that I would comfortably say, I will reread this one. It was so well done. I had a fantastic time reading it. It was not the most fast-paced read of all times. There were times in the book that were not necessarily boring, but not super adventure-packed. So if you're looking for something like that, there's parts in here that lag a bit, but not boring by any means. It's a nice soft read, a nice, I don't want to say fluffy because it's got tons of fantastic information in there. Lots of information on myths and Greek mythology. Not tons, but enough so that you learn stuff when you read this book. Loved all of the characters, loved the plot, loved the story, loved the ending. I just loved this book, and I will be recommending it this summer. Fantastic. I did end up giving it a 9.5 because the book as a whole was that good. If you're feeling like you're not really super into it, about halfway through, stick with it because this is going to be a book that you remember and that you will love. I'm almost sure of it. Yeah, so go pick yourself up a copy of The Siren, this one-off book. Super unique read about sirens, romance, and the ocean. Who doesn't love that? Alright, well, don't forget to like this video if you liked this video, and subscribe if you would like to be notified every time that I post a video, which hopefully will be a lot more often because I'm really enjoying doing this, guys. Yeah, so I will have something new for you in no time at all. Happy reading, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!